Real Estate and Mortgage Show, your go-to spot for everything home buying, selling, and financing on News Talk 580 CFRA.
Welcome back to the show, everybody. Hey, Frank, we had a really interesting question come in through realestatemortgageshow.com this week from Wilson. And Wilson said, is it possible to purchase a home and pay in cryptocurrency if the buyer and seller are willing? It's a great, I never even considered that.
I wouldn't even know how to answer that. I said to Frank, I'm like, do you know an answer to this? He's like, I got it.
Yeah, I got it. Now, again, I've come across a couple of clients that have asked me about crypto, but using it for down payment and then getting a mortgage. And of course, then my job is to go to the lenders, the banks and the lenders and say, hey, how do you guys view crypto? Well, they don't view it very well because it's untraceable. So it's hard to get history. And again, very strict anti-money laundering rules in Canada when you're buying a home, because the last thing the government wants is for money laundering to assist in purchasing homes, which happened quite a bit over probably in the late 2000 teens, like the 16, 17, 18. There was a lot of, they took them about 4 or 5 years to figure it out, but there was a lot of funds used from money laundering to purchase homes, specifically a lot of them in Vancouver and the GTA, but nonetheless, they put the rules. So the money laundering rules, and that's why we're so strict when it comes to, we ask clients for 90 days of bank statements. So we say you can't redact anything on the statements. And if there's any deposits that are out of the ordinary, so your pay is okay, but if all of a sudden there's $3,000, $4,000 deposits, we need to show where that money came from, because because the government wants to make sure that you're not using money from illegal sources. So unfortunately, crypto is known for people trying to skirt either paying taxes or activities. Not all, because some are legit. Right. Not all, but again, some of them are. So therefore, the banks have a hard time. They haven't quite accepted crypto yet. So crypto is very difficult to use. The only way you can use crypto, you have to cash out the crypto, put it in your bank account, and let it sit in your bank account for 90 days. So it goes through the 90-day cycle, because generally what we're asked to do is provide history over 90 days to be able to prove down payments. So, but in a scenario like this where they want to exchange crypto, between each other, and then obviously the title to the house, that's a good question, and that's where you need to meet with a real estate lawyer and have the real estate lawyer tell you what the tax implications are of doing such a transaction.
I've never come across this in my career so far, anything about this, but I do believe that the way we buy and sell real estate will change.
Sure.
And it will change very fast, in
what way, Paul? In what way?
Well, I just think, look at how fast it's come right now. Like, we might be looking in the future where houses are more transient. Maybe you own the house, but it's much easier to sell. A lot more vertical living. We might be, living a lot more vertically. Who knows? Like, cars are flying these days, driving themselves.
I'm still waiting for my flying car.
We might be in flying cars. Like,
an electric car.
I know part of my coaching program is very, very advanced, and we're always thinking ahead. What real estate is going to look like? And he said something very, very interesting, actually, that I actually talked to my team about. I said to him, I go, is AI going to replace the real estate agent? And he said, AI will never replace the real estate agent, but the agents who use AI will replace the agents that don't.
Right.
Which is very, very interesting. You're always going to need you're always going to need that personal touch. So you're always going to need a real estate agent. But the way we show homes might change. We might, who knows, 10 years from now, we might have robots showing homes. We might be able to put on a pair of glasses and be able to walk through that home with our glasses. It's not the same, I get it. But I think just thinking about how things have changed already in this world,
sure,
and now how it's going to go in the future, it's like you just don't know what is going to happen. We're advancing so fast. Keep in mind, before my time, but back in the day, the real estate agents used to get a book once a week, and it was like
all the new listings
once a week.
I was around then.
I know you were around then, but
that blue book that came out every Tuesday morning with all the listings, crazy.
And then one photo on it, the exterior of the house,
and then we went to this weird thing called the internet, and all of a sudden you could actually see homes on an internet, on a platform. I still remember when I first got into real estate. This was 21 years ago. That I remember my phone. I remember saying it would be so great if you could just email and just send messages from this phone. Wouldn't that be cool? Now look at us. Like, people live on our phone. That's how we communicate nowadays. So it's not far-fetched to think crypto might be a form of payment that's very popular in the future. You never know.
Not if the government won't allow it.
I
So
agree.
again, the government
Right.
needs to know what's going on with money. And, you're starting to hear little words about maybe we're going to be a cashless society. I hope not. I think there still has to be an element of privacy in how you spend your money. And if I want to go to a restaurant and pay cash, I should have the ability to go to a restaurant, pay cash. And I know that there's facilities. You go to a hockey game now and they don't accept cash.
Yeah.
You have to buy a cash card. And that's fine too, because at least you get to do whatever you want with your cash card kind of thing. And it's still kind of traceable, but
I was
just think
laughing
that
when
there's
Frank.
too much.
I was laughing when Frank said, "If I want to go to a restaurant, I want to pay cash, so it's untraceable." Those
It's
places,
not
those
untraceable.
places aren't called restaurants, Frank.
It's not about yeah, right.
Those places are not called
But
restaurants.
it's not
that
about
you want to go to.
untraceable. It's about privacy. It's about, wait a second, like, why does the government need to know everywhere I spend every dollar? Why can't I go to a restaurant and pay cash and they don't have to know about it? It's and I think most people just, okay, like, we've got cameras everywhere. We've got everything. We can be monitored by our phones where we are, and I get it. But I think there's still that element of privacy that people are looking for. And it's no different. During the break, we talked about cybersecurity. At Mortgage Brokers Ottawa, we are very serious about cybersecurity, and we are very serious about making sure that our emails are protected. When a client sends us an email with their personal documentation, we want to make sure that they are safe. And we bought cybersecurity for a reason, because we want to make sure that we protect our clients' privacy, and FinTrack and FISRA tells us we have to. So we do that, but there's mortgage brokers out there that don't, and I'm scared for our industry what's going to happen, because the only way you can get cybersecurity is if these insurance companies actually try to crack into your emails, and if they succeed, they say you're not eligible for cybersecurity. It's no different than trying to get insurance for a car when you've had 4 accidents in the last month. It's going to be impossible to get insurance. It's the same
Right,
idea.
yeah.
Where the insurance company doesn't want to pay out. So they're going to do everything possible to make sure. So again, I mean, if you're getting, mortgage brokers are sending you emails, or they're asking you to get, your documents on Gmail or Hotmail, there's a little bit of a risk there, and the mortgage brokerage should be better than that.
Well,
They
there's a
should
lot
be
of
able to have.
like my accountants right now. Like it's I got to go through a platform to send information. I said to my
The same.
it's
yeah.
so much easier. Can I just send this to you and email this to you, scan it to you? They're like, no,
Nope.
we don't want it that way. You got to go through our platform, and which is great. That it should be the way. It's a pain in the butt, but it should be the way, because especially now with AI, like, our world is changing. Our world is altered. I mean, you don't know. I mean, like I said earlier, there's some pictures of me out there on in social media right now that Greg has made me AI. He's got it so advanced now that Greg can actually feed me a script, and I could talk, and I could be in Florida, and I'd look like I'm in winter here in Ottawa. Like, it's just, that's AI. That's
Almost.
the world. Yeah, that's like the world we're living in right now, and it's so advanced that how we buy, how we sell, how we're dealing with homes, how we're dealing with consumers, it's, who knows where the world's going with the advancements of technology and AI.
Well,
I
banks
have
are
to-
talking about AI, about using AI to underwrite, but they've also acknowledged AI will kind of look for things, but then they still need that human eye
Yeah.
to be able to verify whether AI is correct or not, because AI isn't perfect either. There are mistakes in AI, just like the Google isn't everything. I tell everybody, just because Google says something doesn't mean it's correct.
Oh, you mean Dr.
Dr.
Google?
Yeah,
Dr. Google.
Well, you know what's
So-
funny though? This last week, my dad was in hospital, and he's got some things happening with his legs that the doctors just can't figure out what it is. And I actually took a picture of his sore, put it into ChatGPT, and it told me what the problem was. And the doctors were like, I walk in the board, and it's written on the board. They spent weeks trying to figure out what's going on with my
Doctor
dad.
did the same thing, took that picture, put it on ChatGPT, and you guys came out with the same solution.
I asked the
Probably,
nurses.
is what
I
happened.
asked the nurses. I said, "Do you guys not use ChatGPT and AI when you're diagnosing some of these things?" And she says, "Well, it's just not that accurate all the time." And I said, "That right there is naive thinking, very naive,
Yeah.
because right now in the States, doctors but doctors are using ChatGPT for almost every diagnosis because it's fairly accurate, right? Now, it's not everything. It's not going to give you all the right
Oh, sure.
answers, and it's, AI is great and all, but
It's a starting point.
it's a starting point, and you still want that human touch, that human connection, and all that stuff in any job. In our job and your job, it's just AI will be an advancement and help people advance.
Well, I have to imagine in the same light as what you were talking about, Frank, with the security, the FinTrack, all that kind of stuff. is same with doctors, is they have to be very careful about patient
100%.
confidentiality, all that kind of stuff. And when these new types of technology, I understand why government is a little reticent and take their time to figure it out. I know it seems painful, but
that's why you're seeing portals. That's why you're seeing all these portals that you have to log into, because they've got that cybersecurity protection in them. So the banks and lenders have all gone to upload documents. Don't send us emails with the documents. Send us the documents through these portals, because they've got these portals that are just basically, it's Fort Knox. I mean, they've got them surrounded by all the security to make sure that there's no intrusion into clients' documents. So I think it's so important, and I think that there's some lazy companies out there that are taking shortcuts on it, and whether it's a mortgage brokerage or real estate office, but I think they should pay more attention to it, because I think Canadians in general, myself included, I want to make sure that if I'm giving a document to somebody that's got some of my private information, I want to make sure that it's going in the right hands and it's going to remain in the right hands.
Secure.
So Greg, here's what I envision, just so you know. So obviously my goal is 1,000 deals. I want to be the first agent to sell 1,000 deals, which means we're going to have to list a whackload of homes, which means I'm probably going to need at least 1 or 2 or 3 of you. So I could see in the future you managing a team of robots to take pictures of houses. So you're the robot manager, and you're sending out your robots to take all these pictures, because we'll be able to do 7, 8, 9 a day if we want to. So that's where I envision things going, just so you know.
You know, that's an interesting thought, but back to the statement you were talking about from the conferences. Will real estate agents be a thing of the past, and will mortgage brokers be a thing of the past? And
Never.
no, it's that personal touch. Dealing something like this is a very huge deal for people, and they need to feel more secure in it. And I think we're decades away from robots being able to show homes.
I talked about these glasses, and eventually we'll be able to put on a pair of glasses and walk through homes with our glasses on. But you're not going to touch the walls. You're not going to be able to open the cabinets. You're not going to be able to. So will real estate agents be a thing of the past because of AI? The answer is absolutely not.
And neither will real estate photographers.
No, I agree. Unless the robots get good, then we can just put out robots. But I do believe that it's just like when the internet came out and social media came out, and it's like, if you don't use those things, you're way behind everybody. Yeah. And it's just like, that's why when Tom made this comment and he says, the agents will not be obsolete, but the agents who don't use AI will be obsolete.
But there's a lot of agents and mortgage brokers that don't use social media, and they're still very successful because they believe in the personal touch and picking up the phone, and that's the way they do it. So I don't think there's anything wrong with it.
But you have to sell to people the way they want to be sold to. For example, someone always wants to pick up the phone with me. I'm picking up the phone with them. If I pick up the phone and try to call someone, like my kids, I'll try to call my kids. They won't answer, and they'll text me back, "Hey, Dad, what's up?" I'm like, "I just tried to call you." They want to talk. They want to be communicated by text, and so we have clients who want to be communicated by text. Some people love email. Others, if you're not on social media, you're missing a large segment of our market, a huge segment of our market. They want to see videos and knowledge and content and all that kind of stuff.
Oh, definitely. So
you have to sell to people the way they want to be sold to. And yes, but you have to adapt to the way someone's, your age, Frank, I agree. It's all phone, right? Greg and I were a little younger, so we're good with text.
I'm just trying to upgrade from my rotary phone, but
yeah, your flip phone. Frank still has a flip phone.
Have a question? Head over to realestateandmortgageshow.com or give us a call 521-TALK 521-8255. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the show. Hey, during the break, Paul, we got a question in at realestateandmortgageshow.com.
Yes. So we did get another question. Thank you. realestateandmortgageshow.com. Or you can always call in 521-TALK 521-8255. So Gary sent in a question asking that I haven't heard before. Is it beneficial to the seller if they include all furnishings such as furniture, TV, rugs, dishes, snow blowers, etc.? Good TV, question.
Eh?
Yeah, good
I'm
question.
not leaving my TV, that's for sure.
Good question, Gary. The answer is, in certain circumstances, someone might try to buy that, and people could offer that, but you can't add value to your property by including all those. You could, but you can't do much, right?
Well, you can't finance it, just so you know.
Finance it.
Yeah, you can't finance it kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah, so you can't. So the answer is it's not very common. Now, listen, when I sold my house in Navan, I had a big home in Navan that had, like, our dining room had a table that sat like 20 people.
It was custom for the space.
Built, so we included that. I made sure I got a good price on my house, but I included that. There was some furniture in the basement that was just perfectly fit for that basement, so we included that. When people ask for it. But, people could ask for what they want. But if you're like, okay, so my house is worth $700,000. If I include the furniture now, it's worth $750,000. The answer is no, because most people have their own furniture. They want to bring their own furniture. So you may include a couple pieces here and there. But a lot of times people always include things that they don't want to move and they come across as junk. Old freezers and old workout gear,
pool tables,
and
I
things
can't tell you the number of pool tables people have tried to sell me over the years going into doing the photography.
So it's not Gary. It's not common. It's not common. There are some things that you could try sell, but I think what your question was kind of relating to is, can I jack my house up by the price of that furniture? And the answer is no, because if someone does, it's like a pool. If I put a $100,000 pool in, can I jack my price up $100,000? Well, no. What if my family doesn't want a pool? There's no value in that. So the answer to that is no. You can't put your price up if you include that furniture, because some people don't want it.
Is there a potential exception on like vacation properties?
Those are always included. Like anytime you're going to buy something in like a Florida or a California, a lot of times those will come fully furnished and they will come with the furniture. Right. Cottages sometimes come with furniture, but just a standard home here in the city in Ottawa, not very common and doesn't happen very often. But yeah, vacation properties, absolutely.
And I'm surprised. I'm surprised that a pool doesn't add value, and I understand why, because some people don't want it. But if I'm somebody who wants to buy a house with a pool and I know that a pool is going to cost me $100,000, then I'm going to look for a house with a pool and try to get a bargain. Just pay for the house itself, because now I don't have to pay extra money for the pool. So
agreed.
Right?
Now, during COVID, homes with pools were super popular. Flying. You had a pool, flying off the shelf. But the problem with the pools is, like I would say 50% of people want the pool, 50% of people don't care about the pool. So I don't want to pay your $100,000 bill for your pool because I don't really care to have a pool.
Like anything else, then you're getting a separate inspection on it. You want to make sure the liner's good. You want to make sure the pump's good. Like all that is very expensive equipment.
It's been closed and opened professionally, not done by a weekend warrior, things like that.
Right.
Yeah.
That's how I didn't even think of that, Frank, in terms of the question is you can't finance furniture
you can't finance a pool. Now, again, I mean, the lender will determine whether the value that you've paid for the house is fair market value, and then sometimes we get requests for an appraisal, and sometimes they'll look at the purchase agreement and they'll see, well, we'll include the pool table, we'll include the hot tub, we'll include this, we'll include that, and they'll say, wait a second, so is that inflated the price of the home? Is the price of the home actually fair, or is it inflated by $20,000-$25,000 because they've left all these things? And they'll request an appraisal and determine whether it's fair market value. But if the house across the street sold for $25,000 less, same size, same everything, but because this one's got the hot tub and the pool table, it's sold for $25,000, they may come back and say, well, that's fine, but we're financing it based on this value of
$25,000
less. Yeah, an appraiser's not looking at that house and saying, well, the house is probably worth $600,000. The furniture's worth $50,000. Now it's worth $650,000. The appraiser's looking at the house, the bones, right? So
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, the bones, the neighborhood, where it is, the comparables, everything in the neighborhood. Right, got it. Okay, so, interesting. Thanks a lot for the question.
Yeah, great question, actually. Again, there's lots of great questions out there. Use the website. I mean, it's an opportunity for you to be able to ask a question that you've always thought about. And because people are shy to call in. They don't want to call in and be on the radio, and they're nervous.
Want you to call in. We'd love to talk to you. But
we'd love it, but we understand if you're nervous. So ask the question on email, and then we'll answer it for you.
Yeah, so if you go to realestatemortgageshow.com, there's basically a button there that says ask the question.
Yeah, you just fill out the form, hit submit, and then we'll
answer it for you. And we'll actually respond off the air, too, like I've responded. And I know that Wilson, who sent the crypto one, Paul sends me back an email because I like to copy Paul on the answer based on the fact that this way we're going to talk about it on the show. And Paul says that was ChatGPT that did that. And was it Paul ChatGPT or was it FI, which is Frank Intelligence?
Why do we have to end the show with me having to say this and say, Frank, you were right. It was your brain that did it, not AI. I thought the reason I thought it was AI is because I know your brains. And so I just assumed it was AI.
Because there were words with more than 2 syllables, right?
I didn't understand the big words, Frank.
FI, Frank Intelligence.
Frank Intelligence.
All right, Frank, birthdays this week?
Yeah, I've got a couple of birthdays, but first I want to congratulate. So we had our top 20 dinner, which are top 20 mortgage agents, and A lot of them are hopefully going to be Hall of Fame candidates, just like I was, because there's so many great agents that we have at Mortgage Brokers Ottawa. So we had a dinner at Angelina's out in Manotick. Thank you to Carmelina, who owns Angelina's. What a great job. We had the restaurant to ourselves and talk about networking, and we had lenders that sponsored it for us were with us too. So congratulations, all of the top 20 with Mortgage Brokers Ottawa. And one of them was Erin McDonnell, who celebrates her birthday. She was there this week. Congratulations to Erin. Again, I'm not one, I think our industry has some great people, and most of them work at Mortgage Brokers Ottawa, some don't. Chris Allard, a great mortgage agent that's out there, celebrates his birthday this week. He's become a good friend of mine. And my beautiful niece, Bianca Bernardi, celebrating her birthday. So happy birthday.
Happy birthday. Yeah, I just have a couple. I have Raj from our team. Raj Chima celebrated her birthday yesterday. Paul Deek celebrated, one of my wonderful agents, celebrated 5 years with the company coming up on the 23rd. And Adam Armstrong, one of my inside sales agents, 2 years with the company on the 27th. So happy anniversaries.
Awesome. Hey, everybody, if you have a question you want answered before next week, head over to realestateandmortgageshow.com. Ask it there. Frank and Paul will get back to you. If not, we'll talk to you next week. Have a great week, everyone.
Great week, everyone.
And please continue to support local business and charities, everyone.